The Galactic Empire known as the Tyrex Dominion had long ruled over the stars, its influence stretching across thousands of systems, suppressing lesser species under the iron fist of its tyrannical reign. The galaxy was vast, its secrets ancient, but there was one world that had defied the stars and remained untouched: Earth. Humankind, in their infancy compared to other galactic civilizations, had been a quiet species, struggling to find their place among the cosmos. But in the shadows of their earthly existence, something had been stirring, something that would make the gods tremble and the empires quake in fear. It began on the day the first Tyrex ship entered the solar system. The Dominion had set their sights on Earth, believing it to be an insignificant, primitive world ripe for conquest. Their mighty warship, the Vigilance, a massive colossus of technology and destruction, arrived like a harbinger of doom. It entered Earth's atmosphere, cloaked in a field of electromagnetic disruption, rendering all human technology useless. The Tyrex Dominion's imperial fleet had crushed world after world, their genocidal campaigns as relentless as the stars themselves. Their motto, "Submit or perish," was a belief they instilled in every conquered race. But they had underestimated the one thing that Earth's inhabitants possessed in abundance: a will that could not be broken. The first confrontation occurred when a massive Tyrex fleet descended upon Earth's atmosphere. Cities went dark. Airstrikes, bombardments, and waves of destruction wreaked havoc upon the surface. But something incredible happened. The Earthlings fought back. The nations, fractured and divided in the past, had been forced to unite against this alien invasion. Though their technology lagged behind the advanced ships of the Tyrex, humans had an uncanny ability to adapt and innovate. They worked together, combining their efforts, turning every bit of technology they had against the invaders. With desperate ingenuity, human resistance forces mounted guerrilla tactics, using everything from improvised drones to makeshift plasma cannons, their military training and raw creativity turning the tide in small pockets. The Tyrex commanders were stunned. The Earthlings, whom they had assumed would crumble like the dozens of other species they had conquered, were fighting back with unprecedented ferocity. The alien invaders could not understand how such a primitive species, with no spacefaring civilization of their own, could fight like this. The surprise was just beginning. As the Tyrex fleet began to focus their efforts on key human defense strongholds, Earth's military began to deploy a secret weapon. Unknown to the alien forces, Earth's scientists had been working on a project, an ancient and forgotten technology that had been buried beneath layers of history and myth, a way to tap into the primal forces of the universe itself. It was an ancient power, one that humans had long ago forgotten, drawn from the very fabric of space and time. As the first weapon was unleashed, the sky seemed to fracture. Energy beams, unlike anything the Tyrex had seen, tore through the invaders' ships like a knife through paper. This was no simple weapon. It was a force of nature, a concentrated storm of cosmic power that seemed to resonate with the very heartbeat of Earth itself. It was then that the Tyrex realized their mistake. They had not simply attacked a planet, they had awakened a sleeping giant. This was not a world of helpless primitives. This was a world that had endured for millennia, a world whose ancient past held knowledge and power beyond anything they could comprehend. As the Tyrex fleets began to retreat, they sent a message to the rest of the galaxy, a warning, one they would regret sending. Earth is no ordinary world. Its people are no ordinary species. If we cannot break them, no one can. But Earth's defiance was far from over. With the first victory in hand, humankind's resolve hardened, and the fight for survival had just begun. Little did the Tyrex know they had ignited a firestorm that would soon engulf the entire galaxy. Earth's people were no longer simply a species fighting for survival. They were now a force to be reckoned with, and their struggle for dominion had only just begun. The stage was set. Empires would fall, gods would bleed, and humanity would rise. As Earth's resistance forces began to regroup, something unexpected occurred. The victory over the Tyrex had not only stirred the spirit of humankind but had also attracted the attention of other galactic empires. Across the stars, whispers spread, rumors of a world that defied a power far greater than itself. The Tyrex Dominion, a vast and nearly invincible force, had been repelled by a species they had deemed insignificant. The Galactic Union, a coalition of planets bound together by shared interests and ideals, took notice. They had long been monitoring Earth's development but had always dismissed humanity as a minor player in the galactic theater. However, after witnessing Earth's unexpected resistance and newfound prowess, the Union began to reconsider their stance. It was then that the first emissary arrived. The species was known as the Elorians, a race of ancient, ethereal beings whose technology and knowledge had long transcended the limits of most races. Their ships moved through space as if gliding on the fabric of time itself. The Elorians were not here to conquer. They were here to observe, to study the phenomenon that was Earth's rebellion. The Elorian envoy, a shimmering figure draped in silver robes, materialized in Earth's orbit aboard a vessel that appeared to be a living organism. The humans, still recovering from the initial Tyrex invasion, looked up to the sky, their eyes filled with a blend of hope and uncertainty. The Elorians had come, but what did this mean? The emissary, identifying themselves as Thessari, transmitted a message to Earth's leaders. The words that followed were chilling. You have awakened the attention of the Galactic Pantheon. The Galactic Pantheon, an ancient and secretive group of celestial entities, each one a being of unimaginable power, had long controlled the balance of the galaxy. Their influence was felt in every corner of the known universe. Some of the Pantheon's members were gods, others were timeless creatures that had existed long before the birth of any civilization, and still others were ancient entities who governed the very fabric of reality itself. Their interest in Earth could only mean one thing. The planet's defiance was an anomaly that threatened the delicate order they had imposed on the cosmos. The Pantheon's warning was clear: do not challenge the established order. Your defiance shall not go unpunished. Submit to the galaxy's will or face the consequences. However, Earth had already made its decision. The humans had tasted victory, however fleeting, and they now understood the magnitude of what they had done. No longer would they cower in the shadows of the stars. Humanity would not bow before these so-called gods or submit to the cosmic empires. The very idea of submission was alien to them. Their fight had become more than survival, it had become a declaration. The Elorian envoy, sensing the resolve in Earth's leaders, decided to take a more proactive stance. We are not your enemies, Thessari said. But you must understand, there are powers that exist beyond your comprehension. The Pantheon's wrath is a force that will unravel your world. If you wish to survive, you must learn to wield the powers you have unlocked. The Elorians, despite their warning, offered to share their knowledge with humanity. They offered to teach Earth the secrets of the stars, how to harness cosmic energy, how to tap into the ancient forces that the Pantheon guarded so jealously. But there was a price. The knowledge would come at a cost. The humans would have to choose their allies wisely, for the Pantheon would not hesitate to erase them from existence should they be seen as a threat. Earth's leaders, particularly General Evelyn Blackstone, the newly appointed commander of Earth's United Defense Forces, were torn. The risk of angering the Pantheon was unimaginable, but the power to defend themselves against any galactic threat was too great to ignore. The Elorians had promised to teach them the ways of the stars, but could they trust them? Or was this another game in a far larger cosmic chessboard? Despite their reservations, Blackstone and her council decided to accept the Elorians' offer. The war for humanity's survival had only just begun, and Earth needed every edge it could get. Little did they know, however, that by accepting this knowledge, they had placed themselves in a perilous position, drawing even more attention from the enigmatic beings of the stars. But they had no choice. The Pantheon's warning echoed in their minds: submission or annihilation. Earth would not submit. Not now. Not ever. As Earth scientists began to unlock the secrets of the Elorian teachings, the first steps toward a new era of human power were taken. Humanity, once the underdog of the galaxy, was about to become a force to be reckoned with. However, with power came a darker truth. Earth was now caught in the center of a storm that threatened not only the galaxy but the very gods who ruled it. The stage was set for the next battle, but this time the stakes were higher than ever. The gods and empires would have to contend with Earth's defiance, and the outcome of this struggle would determine the fate of the entire universe. With the Elorian knowledge coursing through Earth's scientists and military leaders, humanity's ascent from the ashes of the Tyrex invasion was swift and brutal. The first new technology, energy shields that could withstand the devastating weaponry of the Galactic Empires, was deployed within months, rendering Earth's cities and military installations near impenetrable. The second breakthrough, a highly advanced propulsion system derived from Elorian theories, enabled Earth to create ships capable of traveling faster than the speed of light. The world that had once been fragmented and weak had now become a united front, stronger than any one empire had anticipated. In just a year, Earth's military was no longer reliant on guerrilla tactics or makeshift weaponry. Humanity was now equipped with the most advanced weaponry in the galaxy, an unrelenting army ready to face any foe that dared challenge them. General Evelyn Blackstone, having been elected Earth's first supreme leader, became a symbol of resistance and unity. Her rise was not just a political one, it was a testament to the fighting spirit of humanity. Under her guidance, Earth's forces prepared for the next stage of their war, a war that would not only defend their home but would seek to free other oppressed worlds from the grip of the Galactic Empires. But as Earth gained power, the warnings from the Elorians began to loom larger. The Pantheon does not forgive, Thessari had said, and they will see you as a threat, an anomaly that must be eradicated. The Pantheon, a collection of immortal and seemingly omnipotent beings, had long dictated the laws of the galaxy. They controlled the ebb and flow of power, ensuring that no species could rise above the cosmic hierarchy. Their very existence was a secret, known only to a few, but their influence was felt across every corner of the galaxy. And Earth, with its newfound strength and defiance, was now a direct challenge to their authority. To the Pantheon this was unacceptable. The first sign of their displeasure came when a fleet of immense black ships arrived at the outer edges of the solar system. They were unlike anything humanity had seen, monolithic vessels whose forms seemed to shift and distort, as though they were not entirely bound by the physical laws of the universe. From these ships descended the gods of the Pantheon, beings of pure energy and will, their forms too vast and incomprehensible to fully perceive. Their leader, the celestial sovereign, addressed humanity through a broadcast that pulsed with the power of the cosmos itself. You dare challenge the heavens? You who are but infants in the grand design of the stars. Know this, your struggle ends now. You are but a fleeting speck in the infinite tide of the universe, and we shall erase you before your flame burns too brightly. The broadcast sent shockwaves through Earth's military and civilians alike. The gods of the Pantheon were not mere invaders, they were the very architects of the galaxy, beings whose power could bend reality itself. The idea that Earth could survive their wrath seemed impossible. Yet General Blackstone refused to back down. We will not bow before any god. We are humanity and we will fight for our future, she declared to her people. The Pantheon may be ancient, but we are a force that cannot be contained. At her command, Earth's fleets moved to intercept the Pantheon's vessels, armed with every weapon they had developed. However, despite their advanced technology, humanity's ships were no match for the sheer might of the gods. The first engagement ended in a devastating display of celestial power, energy storms, rifts in space itself, and the disintegration of entire fleets. Earth's military was forced to retreat, but not without casualties. The Pantheon's gods showed no mercy, wiping out human ships with terrifying efficiency. In the aftermath of the battle, it became clear that Earth's fight for survival was far from over. General Blackstone convened with her council, the leaders of Earth's defense forces, and made a bold decision. Humanity would not rely solely on Elorian technology to face the Pantheon. Instead, they would tap into a force far older and more powerful, something that had existed since the dawn of time itself. This ancient power was buried deep within Earth's own history, a force once wielded by the early humans who had walked the planet's surface long before the rise of modern civilization. They called it the will of Earth, a collective primal energy that resonated through every living thing on the planet. Humanity's connection to this force had been severed long ago, but now, in the face of annihilation, they would seek to reclaim it. Led by Earth's most brilliant scientists, a new initiative began. It was a desperate effort to tap into the very essence of the planet, drawing on its power to create new weapons, ones that could stand against the gods themselves. The process was perilous and many believed it was futile. But there was no other choice. As Earth's new weaponry took form, Earth's people came together as never before, working as one towards a singular goal, to transcend their limitations and become something more than human. They had defied the Tyrex, they had faced the wrath of the Pantheon, and they would not stop now. Their fight was not just for their survival, it was a fight for the soul of the galaxy. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the very foundation of the universe. Earth was no longer a fledgling world, humanity was becoming a force that could rival the gods. And the Pantheon, for the first time in millennia, faced a threat it could not ignore. The rise of humanity's new order had begun, and with it, the eternal struggle for dominion had reached a new and deadly phase. As the cosmos shuddered under the looming shadow of humanity's defiance, Earth's resolve grew ever stronger. The Pantheon, having witnessed the rise of a species capable of challenging their reign, unleashed their wrath upon the planet in full force. Yet, what they had underestimated was humanity's unyielding nature, the fire that burned deep within every human heart. No matter the power the gods wielded, Earth's people refused to bend. The moment of reckoning arrived when Earth's newly developed technology, powered by the ancient force known as the Will of Earth, was ready for deployment. Humanity's military had restructured itself, now not just as a defensive force, but as a machine of conquest. The Gauntlet, the first ship equipped with Earth's new weaponry, was launched with a singular purpose: to confront the gods head-on. The Gauntlet was no ordinary warship. Its hull shimmered with the raw energy of Earth's power, a material that resonated with the planet's deepest energies. Inside its core was a nexus of power that no other fleet in the galaxy could match. The ship wasn't just designed to fight, it was a weapon forged from the will of an entire species. Humanity's collective resolve was now contained in a single vessel. General Evelyn Blackstone, who had transformed from a leader to a symbol of resistance, commanded the mission. Her fleet, though small compared to the might of the Pantheon, was built on the same principle. Every ship, every soldier, powered by the primal strength of Earth's will. The Pantheon's forces descended once again upon Earth. Their vessels, titanic in size, loomed above the planet like vengeful gods. Their very presence twisted the fabric of space and time, bending reality itself. In the midst of this cosmic storm, the Gauntlet and its fleet broke through the heavens, cutting through the void like a blade forged in a star's heart. The first battle was a clash of forces the universe had never seen before. Energy storms and cosmic rifts engulfed the stars around them as the gods of the Pantheon unleashed their power. Beams of pure energy, capable of disintegrating entire planets, collided with Earth's shielded warships. The Pantheon's gods tore at the fabric of space with their immense power, creating fractures in reality itself. But the will of Earth surged. The human fleet, though battered and broken, held strong. Earth's ships, no longer bound by conventional physics, defied the universe's expectations. Humanity's resilience had been weaponized. Every missile, every strike was imbued with the collective force of billions of humans united in their purpose. For the first time, the gods of the Pantheon faced uncertainty. The battle waged for days, each moment a test of wills. General Blackstone's leadership and unrelenting determination shone as the humans began to adapt to the Pantheon's overwhelming power. The Pantheon's ships, though powerful beyond measure, were not prepared for the relentless drive of a species that fought for its very survival. In the heart of the battle, the Gauntlet locked its sights on the celestial sovereign, the leader of the Pantheon. The god stood in the center of a black vessel, an embodiment of time itself, his form a blur of shifting matter. His voice echoed across the battlefield like a thunderclap. "You will learn, mortals, that no matter how far you reach, your grasp will never exceed the boundaries of your insignificance. I am eternity. You are but fleeting dust." But Blackstone, standing firm on the bridge of the Gauntlet, faced the god without fear. "Then let dust burn like a star," she said. "We are not here to kneel. We are here to break your chains." With that, the Gauntlet fired its core weapon, an ancient energy pulse that struck at the very fabric of existence. The shockwave that followed was a tear in reality itself. Time bent and twisted as the universe seemed to shudder under the impact. The celestial sovereign was thrown from his vessel, his form collapsing into a mass of shifting energies. For a moment there was silence. The Pantheon's divine forces reeled, their unity shattered by the unprecedented power unleashed by humanity's will. The celestial sovereign had been incapacitated, and the gods, once thought invincible, were now struggling to maintain their dominance. But the battle had come at a cost. Earth's fleet was decimated. Many ships lay broken in the void, their crews lost to the unyielding force of the Pantheon's gods. Yet, for the first time, humanity had tasted victory against the gods themselves. The cost, however, was more than just physical. The fabric of reality, weakened by the power used in battle, began to unravel in unpredictable ways. Space itself began to warp, causing anomalies across the galaxy. Time loops and dimensional rifts appeared in the aftermath of the conflict, threatening not only Earth but the entire universe. The gods, despite their wounds, were not defeated, they were merely delayed. In the wake of the chaos, General Blackstone ordered a retreat. Earth's fleets returned to their home planet, their victory incomplete but undeniable. Humanity had proven that they could withstand the divine, and they had not only survived but fought back with a force that had never been seen before. However, the gods were still out there, their fury only growing. But as Blackstone stood at the helm of the Gauntlet, watching the stars flicker through the viewports, she understood something critical. The war had only just begun. The Pantheon would not forget this defeat, and they would return. And when they did, Earth would be ready. Humanity had proven it could stand against the gods, and the price of victory had set the stage for a cosmic war like no other. The eternal struggle for dominion was far from over, and the stars themselves would burn brighter as Earth's resolve reached its ultimate crescendo. In the aftermath of their decisive confrontation with the Pantheon, Earth's defenses were bolstered by a new understanding of their adversaries. The gods were not invincible, but they were not easily deterred either. Their return was inevitable. And when it came, it would be with greater fury than any human could anticipate. Humanity had shattered the pantheon's facade of invulnerability, but the gods had learned from their mistake, and their wrath would be immense. General Evelyn Blackstone, once a symbol of hope, now stood at the center of a world bracing for a second wave of destruction. Earth had survived the first battle, but that victory had cost them dearly, both in lives and resources. The gauntlet, Earth's most powerful warship, was scarred and battered, its once unstoppable force now weakened by the gods' retaliation. The remnants of humanity's fleet, though battered and retreating, were no match for the full force of the Pantheon. Yet as Earth's leaders convened, a single truth stood at the forefront of their minds. The next battle would not be a war of ships or weapons. It would be a war of existence itself. The gods of the Pantheon had not only altered the course of time and space, they had manipulated the very laws of the universe. Earth's people understood that their struggle was not just for dominance, but for survival in a reality where their very existence could be unraveled by forces they could scarcely comprehend. It was a struggle that would require more than just strength and will. It would demand that humanity evolve beyond its former limitations and ascend to new heights. In their darkest hour, Earth turned to the Elorians. Thessari, the emissary who had once warned Earth of the Pantheon's might, had become a trusted ally. The Elorians, despite their own vast knowledge and power, had never once sought to dominate the galaxy. Instead, they offered a path of wisdom, a path where Earth could transcend the physical and become something greater. It was in the Elorian archives, hidden beneath layers of cryptic data, that humanity found the key to their next evolution. The Elorians spoke of the Celestial Forge, an ancient construct created by the earliest civilizations of the galaxy, long before even the Pantheon had risen to power. The Forge was a place of unimaginable power, capable of reshaping reality itself. It was said that whoever controlled the Forge could rewrite the laws of existence, bending time, space, and even life itself to their will. But the path to the Forge was perilous. It lay in the heart of a nebula known as the Eclipse Rift, a region of space where reality itself was in constant flux. Only the bravest, or the most desperate, dared venture into its depths, and even then few ever returned. The gods of the Pantheon had kept the location of the Forge a closely guarded secret, for it held the power to challenge their reign. For humanity the choice was clear. If they were to have any hope of surviving the next wave of the Pantheon's fury, they would have to find the Forge. But their journey would be fraught with danger, and the cost of failure would be beyond measure. General Blackstone, now recognized not only as a leader but as a harbinger of humanity's potential, made the fateful decision to lead an expedition to the Eclipse Rift. Alongside her, a team of Earth's finest engineers, pilots, and scientists would embark on this mission. Among them was Dr. Jonas Ray, a brilliant mind who had helped unlock the Elorian secrets and was now tasked with unlocking the mysteries of the Celestial Forge. As the fleet prepared for the journey, Blackstone addressed her people in a final broadcast. "We have taken the fight to the gods, and we have proven that we are not afraid. Now we must transcend what we are and become something more. The Celestial Forge is the key to our survival. But we will not enter it as beggars asking for mercy. We will forge our own destiny." With that, Earth's fleet entered the heart of the Eclipse Rift. The nebula loomed large on the horizon, a swirling mass of energy and cosmic chaos. Ships entered the rift, their shields pulsating with the energy of Earth's will, but the deeper they ventured, the more the fabric of reality itself began to bend. Time loops twisted, space collapsed in on itself, and entire fleets were lost in the shifting void. But Blackstone and her crew pressed on, determined to find the Forge and harness its power. The deeper they went, the more intense the rift became. Space and time fractured around them, and Earth's ships began to buckle under the strain. But Blackstone refused to turn back. She pushed forward, guided by the singular purpose of humanity's survival. At last, after what felt like an eternity, the Celestial Forge came into view. It was unlike anything humanity had ever seen. A massive ancient structure of shimmering energy and raw power, floating in the center of the rift like a cosmic heart. It pulsed with the power of the universe itself. The Forge was alive. As Blackstone's fleet approached, the rift trembled. The gods of the Pantheon had sensed the intrusion. They would not allow the Forge to fall into mortal hands, not after it had been hidden for millennia. The final battle was about to begin. The will of Earth would face the wrath of the gods in the heart of the Celestial Forge. As Blackstone and her crew descended into the Forge's depths, they realized that this would be the ultimate test. the defining moment in their eternal struggle for dominion. The gods might have controlled the stars, but humanity would control its own fate. The war for existence itself had reached its peak. And in the heart of the forge, humanity would forge its destiny. The celestial forge pulsed with an energy beyond comprehension, its essence bending time and space like a living thing. Its core seemed to hum in resonance with humanity's most ancient desires, a desire for freedom, for power, for the chance to stand in defiance of gods. As Earth's fleet descended into its depths, the very fabric of the universe around them seemed to warp and stretch, as though the forge was testing the resolve of those who dared enter. General Evelyn Blackstone stood on the bridge of the gauntlet, her eyes fixed on the glowing structure ahead. Her hands gripped the command chair, but her mind was not just on tactics. It was on the weight of history itself. This was no longer a war for survival, it was a war for the future of everything. Beside her, Dr. Jonas Ray, the brilliant scientist who had unlocked the secrets of Elorian technology, studied the data streams flooding their consoles. "General," he said, his voice strained, "we're running out of time. The Pantheon is already preparing their forces to converge on our position. If we can't harness the Forge's power before they arrive, we're finished." Blackstone didn't flinch. "Then we fight. For every human on this planet, for every world that has been oppressed, and for every future we will create. We will use the Forge to give us the power we need." The Forge's massive energy signature was now fully visible, a swirling orb of impossible force, contained within an ancient structure of metallic rings and glowing energy. The Elorians had called it a tool of creation, a means to reshape reality itself. But the gods of the Pantheon had forbidden any mortal from wielding its power. To them, it was the ultimate transgression, a mortal rebellion against the very essence of creation. As the human fleet neared the forge, a surge of raw energy erupted from the heart of the structure, sending shockwaves through the rift. Reality itself seemed to tear, fracturing around them. Time looped and spun in chaotic spirals. Space collapsed in on itself. Earth's ships strained under the pressure, but they held firm, their shields glowing with the power of humanity's will. Then the Pantheon arrived. A fleet of gods descended from the cosmic abyss, their vessels nothing less than monumental, their very presence distorting the universe. They were not alone, forces of unimaginable power surrounded them. The celestial sovereign, the being who had once threatened to destroy Earth, now stood at the front of his divine army. His form was no longer merely a god, it was a force of nature, an embodiment of the universe's will, capable of warping reality with but a thought. The gods did not speak as they approached. They did not need to. Their power was felt in the crushing pressure of their presence. Their minds, ancient and infinite, probed the very essence of humanity's determination, seeking to crush it with the weight of their eternal superiority. "Mortals," the celestial sovereign's voice reverberated, "you are but ants beneath the boot of infinity. The forge belongs to the gods. Your rebellion ends here." General Blackstone stood her ground, a fire in her eyes. "The forge does not belong to you. It never did. We've come to claim our future." The final confrontation had begun. Blackstone's fleet charged forward, weapons blazing, but the gods were unstoppable. The Pantheon's ships tore through the fabric of space, their energy blasts incinerating entire vessels in the blink of an eye. Reality fractured, rips in space-time opening like wounds in the universe. The battle raged, each side pushing the boundaries of the impossible. In the heart of the chaos, Blackstone's ship, the Gauntlet, broke through the final line of divine defense. She and her crew had one objective now, to reach the heart of the celestial forge and activate its power. But the path was not unguarded. The gods themselves descended upon the Gauntlet, each one a living force capable of reshaping the universe. They rained destruction on the human ship, but still, Blackstone pressed forward. Inside the forge, the energy of creation surged, the very walls of the ancient structure alive with possibilities. The forge was not simply a weapon, it was a doorway, a path to rewriting existence itself. Only one truth mattered now: Earth had the power to decide its fate. Dr. Ray's voice echoed in Blackstone's ear. "We're in position, General. We can activate the forge, but it will require the essence of every human to channel its full power." Blackstone understood. To wield the forge was not just a physical act, it was an act of collective will. The energy of humanity, its hopes, its strength, its defiance would fuel the forge. Every life on Earth, every soul who had ever fought for freedom, would give a part of themselves to reshape the cosmos. The gods, sensing the change, pushed forward in a final attempt to stop them. Their collective will crashed against Earth's defenses, but humanity's determination was unyielding. The power of the forge surged, and in that instant the very nature of reality shifted. The celestial forge, once a tool of the gods, became humanity's instrument of transformation. The universe trembled as the forge's power spread across the cosmos. The pantheon, once the unchallenged rulers of the stars, felt their control slipping. Their very essence was torn asunder, reshaped by the will of the humans who had defied them. The gods could no longer impose their dominance. They had underestimated the power of a species united in purpose, a species that had not only learned to wield the stars but had transcended them. As the last of the gods' resistance shattered, the celestial sovereign's form dissolved into nothingness, a whisper in the wind of a dying age. The pantheon had been undone. Earth stood at the precipice of a new dawn. The forge had granted humanity the power to shape their own future, not only as survivors but as the architects of a new universe. The galaxy, once ruled by gods and empires, now lay open to the hands of those who dared to dream, to fight, and to change the course of destiny. General Blackstone stood before the forge, her eyes gazing at the stars. "This is only the beginning," she whispered. "The struggle for dominion is eternal, but we are no longer its servants. We are its masters." Humanity had forged its destiny, and the universe would never be the same again.